Hey everyone, welcome back. And today we are starting this week, with easy question. So it's from a community member. Okay, so recently requested, and it's a repeated one actually. Okay, so regarding student and employee, those aggregate functions. Okay, we'll solve this today. And if you are new to the channel, you can click on the link above. So make sure you watch all the all the videos in that playlist to crack, understand the use case and crack the interview. Okay, so coming back to the use case here, the recruiter. Okay, so they will present you with the student details, ID, subject mark, and total marks of each student, and then who scored highest in each subject. Okay, so basically one input file, and then we have to produce these two outputs. Okay, so that's the goal here. We'll start with this solution today. Okay, solving today. So coming to the years of experience, see, mostly it's a junior level. Okay, aggregate questions, aggregate, and the simple transform are targeted for junior people, junior or support people. Okay, so simple transform matlab reformat. Okay, so aggregate and simple transform is like targeted to juniors and then even support people. Okay, like who wants to switch to developer. Okay, like minimum 3 to 4 or less than 5. Let's say less than 5. Okay, so if you're less than 5, you should be strong with these ideas. Okay, how will you write in both ways? Okay, for example, for this use case, you can solve this entire use case by using rollup. Okay, by using grid mode or expanded mode. Okay, so by these two modes, like you can either you can see if you are able to write the expanded mode code. Okay, initialize, finalize code, you have to initialize the temporary variable and then roll up computation and then finalize. Okay, if you can handle it. Okay, if you can write this, then fine. Otherwise you can go for a grid mode. Okay, you can tell the recruiter that open the roll up in grid mode and then actually give the code. Okay, so coming to the input data here, we have student ID, subject mark. For example, you have 101. Okay, 101 student, and then 102 and 103 roll number. Okay, so you have subject details and then you have mark. So the first one, to solve the first one, total marks of each student. So that means see, total marks of each student. Okay, so you just group. Okay, so you just group the group the entire data by ID. Okay, so before that, make sure. Okay, so make sure your data is sorted. Okay, otherwise r slash. Okay, or use rollup in memory sort. So I would say you just put a sort before rollup. Okay, so make sure to follow this policy. Okay, so you don't have to go for roll up in memory sort. Rather, you just add a sort component after the input data. Okay, so we'll just add a sort component. Okay, and then I'm going to write. Okay, so I'm going to write, specify the config. Okay, so sort component config parameters. Okay, so here I will say key id. Okay, so student underscore id. Okay, so so it will be, if even if it is mixed. Okay, 101, 102, 103, 104, 104, and then kind of mixed. Okay, so it will arrange by this. Okay, so you will be getting the output like this. Okay, after this one, so after the sort. Okay, so then we are taking that flow. Okay, see, make sure to add a replicate here. Okay, so for example, after sort. Okay, after sort, add a replicate. Okay, because your sort will have one output, right? So add a replicate here and then take the flow to the two aggregate component. Okay, so here one aggregate component and then here one aggregate. Okay, so that means you have to add roll up here and then roll up here. Okay, so these two. Okay, so coming to the now we'll solve. Okay, so see, we have made sure the input is arranged properly, and now we'll make sure the aggregate, we have apply the aggregate. Okay, so after sort. Okay, so we have arranged input. Okay, and then add a replicate. Okay, so now we'll do roll up one. Okay, so I'll just name it. When you add two components, you'll get roll up one and roll up two. Okay, so for roll up one, you have config. Okay, so config Uh, so first one is I would say roll up one. I'm getting total marks for each student. Okay, so that's my goal, each student. Okay, so here what is the idea? Okay, you are grouping this entire data, by the ID, so that you can summation, you can do the apply the summation over the marks. We don't have to care about subject. Okay, so ignoring the subject. So here student ID is the key. Okay, so transform we are using grid mode. Okay, in the grid mode you are using summation in dot marks. Okay, that's it, that's the code. Okay, make sure to use grid mode. Okay, so for if you want to understand how to use the expanded mode, I'll just put the link above, so watch that, understand how to write the initialize, roll up and finalize code. Okay, for this use case we don't need that, so that's why we are just covering as is. Okay, so I'll just go for the roll up to, and then here we are going to do total marks for each student, right? Here the second use case. Okay, the second constraint. Okay, so here we have to get the highest mark. Okay, so highest mark of each student. Okay, so here this roll up will get total mark, this roll up will get get highest mark for each student. Okay, see, I'm just segregating these two because like the key varies. Okay, so for this entire pipeline, this chain, the key is ID only. For this we have key, we have let's say, okay, so we have key, okay, both student ID and then student subject. Okay, subject. Okay, so here transform, so in the transform I'll just apply. Okay, so so here I'll just uh, take it out dot total marks. Okay, I'm just applying new field. Okay, so this is the new field which I will mark it in the output DML. So here out dot maximum marks. Okay, highest marks. Okay, so highest marks will be max in dot marks. Basically both these use cases, okay, both these conditions involve applying aggregation on the third field in marks. Okay, so how do you apply, how do you segregate? So that's the new thing for this use case. Okay, so here how do you separate the flow here, and then how do you apply aggregation, how do you create a one input file, output file, and then how do you apply a second aggregation, and then how do you create on another output file. Okay, if suppose if the recruiter wants highest marks and then total marks in a same file. Okay, same file for each same file for each student. You just apply, you just make sure to use fuse. Okay, fuse component. So we already made a video on fuse component. Just go through our playlist. Okay, so I will just suggest you to go through playlist to understand how the fuse works. Okay, so for now I'm just creating the separate output 1, output 2. But if you want to combine both in total and highest marks in the same file, you can use the fuse. Okay, to join and then to print two columns. Okay, so that's a simple thing. Okay, out dot fuse, no, you can write the out dot fuse in 0 in one line, and then you can put out dot total mark, out dot highest mark. That's it. Okay, and then you can apply out dot student. Okay, so it's an easy one. Okay, so easy template now. I mean easy one. Okay, so like I'm just writing an overall one. Okay, not the exact one, overall idea. Okay, so you open this function and then apply student ID. Okay, assign student ID and then assign total marks. Okay, so total marks will be coming from in zero. Okay, in zero dot that field, and then highest marks. Okay, in one. Okay, so this one you have to apply it in the fuse component. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks for bringing up this question, easy question. Okay, so we'll just see some other questions in some time. Okay, so I'll just see you guys in some other videos. Okay, until then, tada, bye.